Everyone, myself Abhishesh Nandan. I am here to discuss chapter number 1 of class 10, which is chemical reaction and equation. Before starting of the chapter, we have to clear some basic concept. I think you all are aware with the chemical change. Would you define chemical change? Yes, this is the definition of a chemical change. Chemical change means a change in which new substance is formed. Okay, a change in which new substance is formed is known as chemical change. It's called a chemical change. Okay, would you suggest an example of chemical change? Yes, right. Curdling of milk is an example of a chemical change. Milk, in this process, milk changes into curd. This milk is original substance. And this curd is a new substance. And you are also aware about the chemical change. It is a permanent change. It means the substance which is formed cannot be get back into its original form. It is not possible. So it is a permanent change, and the new substance has entire different properties than original substance. Okay, so you can define chemical reaction. What is the chemical reaction? Chemical reaction is the process that leads to a chemical change. So what is the definition of chemical reaction? The process which leads to a chemical change. Yes, it means chemical reaction is a process which leads to a chemical change. Means a new product is formed in a chemical reaction. Consider an example of a chemical reaction. When you burnt coal, which is a carbon, in presence of oxygen, then it will form carbon dioxide. Okay, so these are original substance and this is a new substance, means this is a product and this is reactant. Reactant means those substance which takes part in a chemical change, which participate in a reaction, and the product is a new substance which is formed as a result of chemical reaction. So how will you define reactant and products? Reactants are those substance which takes part in a chemical reaction, and product as a substance which is formed as a result of chemical reaction. Okay, so this is the definition of reactant and product. In the above reaction, which is a C plus O2 gives CO2. These are reactants and this is product. A chemical reaction has different characteristics. Let's know about them. These are the characteristics of a chemical reaction. It means a chemical reaction has 5 characteristics. We can classify it into them as 5 characteristics. First is evolution of a gas. Second is change in temperature. Third is change in color. And fourth is physical state. And the last one is formation of precipitate, which is represented as PPT. We will see each characteristics. First one is evolution of gas. There are some chemical reactions which are categorized with evolution of gas. We can take the example. When zinc granules react with dilute hydrochloric acid, then it will form zinc chloride with the evolution of hydrogen gas. This upper arrow is the indication of evolution of gas. Okay, so this is the example. There are some more examples. When you burnt carbon in presence of oxygen, it will also release carbon dioxide gas. So in each case we can see in these reactions some gases are evolved. In the first example, example number 1, it is evolution of hydrogen gas. In the second example, there is evolution of carbon dioxide gas. Second characteristic is change in temperature. It means there are some chemical reactions in which we can observe change in the temperature. It means there are some chemical reactions which are categorized by change in temperature. It means in a reaction there is a two possibility. Okay, first is in a first characteristics we can say in a some reaction in which heat is released, and there are some chemical reaction in which heat is absorbed. Okay, so on the basis of change in temperature, reactions can be classified into two groups. There are some chemical reaction in which heat is released, and there are some chemical reaction in which heat is absorbed. So there are two types of reaction on the basis of this. Those reactions in which heat is released are called exothermic reaction. And those reaction in which heat is absorbed is known as endothermic reaction. Okay, it is clear. Heat is released, so the reaction in which heat is released called exothermic, and those in which heat is absorbed called endothermic reaction. Consider an example. Combustion is an example of exothermic reaction because after burning a material heat is released, and the photosynthesis is an example of endothermic reaction because it absorbs sunlight to prepare their food. Plants prepare their food by absorbing sunlight. Okay, so photosynthesis is an example of endothermic reaction. So now we can define exothermic reaction properly. Those reactions in which heat is released are called exothermic reactions. Example: when we burn methane in presence of air or oxygen, then it will produce carbon dioxide, H2O vapor, and heat is released during this reaction. So this is an example of exothermic reaction. Now we can define endothermic reaction. So endothermic reactions are those reactions in which heat is absorbed. Heat is absorbed are called endothermic reaction. For example, when calcium carbonate is heated, this is a symbol of it, means heat. When calcium carbonate is heated, it forms calcium oxide along with carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so this is the type of a decomposition reaction, and decomposition reactions are endothermic in nature. So whenever we supply heat, it is absorbed by this compound and forms two different products. You can also write this equation as plus heat and form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So heat is absorbed by this compound. So this is an example of endothermic reaction. Now third characteristic is change in color. There are some chemical reactions which are categorized by the change in color. Consider this example. The color of copper sulfate solution is blue and iron is grayish black, and after reaction it will change into light green, and this is brown in color. So it is clearly visible that copper sulfate, which is blue in color, after reaction with iron, it will change their color due to the formation of ferrous sulfate compound, and the copper gets separated, which is brown in color. Okay, so this is the example of change in color. Similarly, we can give many examples. We can explain various examples. Now, fourth characteristics is change in physical state. There are some chemical reactions which are categorized by changing their states. It means that suppose this example, zinc is solid. This represents solid substance. Zinc is solid state. React with dilute HCl, which is aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means those solutions in which you get dissolved in water. Means you can say, simply you can say, solution of substance in water, and such type of solution is called aqueous solution. It means solution when a substance get dissolved in water, we call them as aqueous solution. So when zinc, which is a solid, which exists in solid state, reacts with hydrochloric acid, which is a liquid form, then it will form ZnCl2, which is aqueous solution, aqueous substance, and H2 gas will be released. Okay, so see, zinc, which exists in solid states, react with liquid solution, liquid is HCl, and form ZnCl2, which is also exists in liquid state, aqueous solution, and hydrogen gas evolved. So this is the example of change in physical states. We can see more examples like when calcium carbonate is heated, it is also in solid state. Then it will decompose into calcium oxide, which is in solid state, and carbon dioxide gas is produced. So see, a solid substance get decomposed into solid and gaseous material. So these are examples of change in physical state. Now the fifth characteristics is formation of precipitate. So do you know precipitate? Okay, write the definition of precipitate. So precipitate can be defined as when two solutions are mixed, a solid insoluble substance gets separated out, which is known as precipitate. In short form, precipitate is represented as PPT, or in a reaction it is also represented as a downward arrow. This is the indication of formation of precipitate. For example, when barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate, then it will form barium sulfate and sodium chloride, and barium sulfate is obtained as a precipitate, which is white in color, white PPT. So it is also an example of change in color. These are colorless, okay, and after reaction we obtain white precipitate due to formation of barium sulfate. So this is the example of formation of precipitate. Precipitate means solid insoluble substance. When these two are mixed, a solid insoluble substance gets separated out. Okay, so these are the characteristics of chemical reaction. So we have covered the topic characteristics of chemical reaction. We have completed all these characteristics. The next topic is chemical equation. Chemical equation means representation of a chemical reaction with the help of symbols, or simply we can define it, symbolized representation means with the help of symbols. Symbolized representation of a chemical reaction is known as chemical equation. Note that it is a symbolized representation of a chemical reaction. Suppose if someone tell you to write the chemical reaction between nitrogen and hydrogen to else to form ammonia gas. Consider this example. Nitrogen plus hydrogen gives ammonia. It is clearly visible. You can say advantages of a chemical equation. Chemical equation is the way of representation of a chemical reaction using symbols. It takes more time. When we write in the word, then it takes more time, more space, but when we use symbol, then it will take less space and time. See, now it is completed. This is the symbolized representation of a chemical reaction. Okay, so chemical equation makes easy representation of a chemical reaction using symbols. Okay, so this is an example of a chemical reaction. When someone tell you to write the reaction between carbon and oxygen, then you have simply write C plus O2 gives CO2. Next topic is balancing of chemical equation. Balancing of chemical equation means, what do you mean by balancing? Balancing means to make equal. To make equal. What make equal? Number of atoms. Number of atoms. Okay. Where? On both sides of a chemical reaction. Do you know both sides of a chemical reaction? These are reactant and product. A product or products. So number of atoms on both sides should be equal, and this is called balancing of chemical equation. So now we can define balancing of chemical equation in a proper way. Okay, so this is the definition of balancing of chemical equation. The process of equalizing the number of atoms on both sides. Both sides means reactant and products is known as balancing of chemical equation. Now a question arises here. Question 1 is, why should chemical equation be balanced? Why we need to balance the chemical equation? Is there any reason? Yes, there is a reason. In class 9 you have heard the different laws of chemical combination. One of them is law of conservation of mass. So we balance the chemical equation in order to follow the law of conservation of mass. And would you explain what is the law of conservation of mass? Yes, it means total mass of reactant equal to total mass of product. Okay, total mass of reactant equal to total mass of product, because we know that. And this will also explain the number atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed according to Dalton's atomic theory. Hello? The students, consider this example and balance it. When you are balancing this equation, then you have to keep in mind that number of atoms should be equal on both sides. So what you have to do? How will you balance this equation? For that, you have to use several methods. I am explaining here hit and trial method. Hit and trial method to balance the chemical equation, which is a very easy. First, you have to list up all the atoms on both sides, that is the reactant and product side. So what are the different types of atoms present on the reactant side? It is aluminium, hydrogen and chlorine. Similarly, on the reactant side you have two list of elements like aluminium, hydrogen, chlorine. Now you have to write their number, means what are the number of aluminium atoms, hydrogen, chlorine, etc. So on the reactant side it is 1, aluminum is 1, hydrogen is also 1, chlorine is 1. Number of aluminum atom on product side 1, hydrogen 2, chlorine 3. See the difference, you know? You can see aluminum is the 1, there is only 1 aluminum atom. On the product side is also 1. Hydrogen, there is only 1 hydrogen atom, and on product side it is 2. Chlorine is 1 on the reactant side, and on product side it is 3. So this is odd number. You have to convert this into even number, because here is only 1. When you multiply 3, then here you also multiply 3 in hydrogen. So let's start. This chlorine should be multiplied by 2, then it become 6. Here is only 1 chlorine, so we have to multiply 6 here. When you multiply 6 in this chlorine, then what happen? It is all 6 is also get multiplied in this hydrogen. Okay, means in HCl you have to multiply 6. Okay, you have multiplied 2, so we have to write 2, and 2 get also multiplied in aluminium. On this side there is only 1 aluminium atom, so you also multiply here by 2. Now it becomes 2 aluminium. Okay, and then H2, hydrogen gas. What is the number of hydrogen? See here is only here 6 and here is only 2, so you have to multiply this by 3. Now it becomes 6. 2, 2 and 6. See, number of aluminum 2, 2, 6, 6 hydrogen, 6 chlorine, 6 is chlorine. So we can say now this is the balanced chemical equation. Okay, so we can use this technique, it means heat and trial method, to balance the chemical equation. Okay, now balance this. Now this chemical equation, how will you balance it? First, what you have to do? Yes, step 1 is list up of all the atoms. So let's start. Write down the number of atoms on both sides and each type of element. Nitrogen and hydrogen, there are only 2 types of atoms on the reactant side as well as product side. Okay, so write the number of atoms. Nitrogen is 2 in number, hydrogen is also 2 in number. There is only 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogen. So find out the difference. You have to find out the large difference in the number of atoms. See, now make it equal. Here is 2 nitrogen, so you have to multiply 2 on the product side. What will happen if you multiply 2 in this nitrogen? If you multiply 2 in this nitrogen, then you have to also multiply into this hydrogen, means it becomes 6. Now nitrogen become 2, and here is only 2 hydrogen atom, so you have to to multiply this by 3. Now it becomes 6 and it has 2. So we have to write 3 here, means 3 multiplied into hydrogen. And now see, it is now balanced. So balanced, this is called balanced chemical equation. Okay, similarly you can balance all the chemical reaction, but you have to see the number of atoms should be equal on both sides. This is the important point that you have to keep in mind while balancing chemical equation. Now this is the second method of balancing chemical equation, which is algebraic method. Means you have to use algebra to balance the chemical equation. For this you have to write the variables as A, B, C. These are the coefficients. Now list of the elements: aluminum and oxygen. Aluminum is A in number, and on product side we can write it 2C. 2 multiplied into C, it become 2C. Oxygen, two B on product side, it is 3 into C equal to 3C. Okay, 2 multiplied into B, 2, so oxygen become 2B on the reactant side. On product side it is 3 into C, become 3C. Now you have to find out the value of A, B and C. And there is no number, so we can write A equal to 1, and when A equal to 1, then it become 1 equal to 2C, so C equal to 1 by 2. Now put the value of C in this equation, then what happen here? 2B equal to 3 into 1 by 2, or 2B equal to 3 into 1 by 2, therefore B equal to 3 by 4. Okay, so what you have? A equal to 1, B equal to 3 by 4, C equal to 1 by 2. To obtain in whole number, we have to multiply each number by 4. So it become 4, 3 and 2. So you have to put up the values in place of A, B and C. Now it become Al plus O2 gives Al2O3. Now you have to write A equal to 1, we don't have to write, sorry, now we have to write 4 here. Oxygen, it means B, we have to write 3, and in place of C we have to write 2. Now in this way we can also balance the given chemical equation. So this is algebraic method, you can try. In today's class we have learnt chemical change, chemical reaction, characteristics of a chemical reaction and balancing of chemical equation. In next class we will see types of chemical reaction. Okay, so you have to learn these things and come to the next class, but there is a homework that you have to try it. So these are the homework that you have to do. You have to balance the chemical equation. Okay, this is methane, When methane is burnt, release carbon dioxide and water vapor. Lead nitrate, when react with potassium iodide, forms lead iodide and potassium nitrate. When magnesium is burnt in presence of oxygen, forms magnesium oxide. When FeSO4 is heated, means ferrous sulfate is heated, it will form ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. And this is potassium hydroxide. When react with sulfuric acid, it forms sodium sulfate and water. In this way, you can use both method, hit and trial method as well as algebraic method, to balance these equations. Okay, thank you.